Second.
Hey,
Hello,
how are you?
fabulous. I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
Good. So
It's
sorry, my
so great to
login
meet
was
you.
acting up. I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, it happened. I'm like, let's give us just another second here and see what happens.
Yes.
But it is such a pleasure to meet you. I did give a little introduction before we joined here for today, and of course, I would just love for you to be able to introduce a little bit more about yourself and just who
Yeah.
you are outside of the
Yeah.
crown.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Lindsey Rae Howard-Willoughby. I am a proud resident of Columbus, Georgia, and I've owned a salon for 6 years now. And I am a proud mama to a 10-year-old, almost 10-year-old little daughter. And she has shown an interest in pageantry and being a part of the Princess program through Miss America like about 4 years ago. And so it kind of got me, all excited to be back in this community. Very many parallels to pageantry and the beauty industry. And so it was a very fun opportunity to show her that, just because we age, our dreams don't have to die. And it's been a very sweet moment to go back in and encourage her to compete. And she's been able to do that and be a part of such an amazing community. And I'm here to kind of just shed some light on it and positivity.
I bet she's having the time of her life right now, being able to experience this with her mom, who also has
She
such a fabulous
she
background.
She really is, and it's sweet. And people are like, "Oh my gosh, why are you doing this?" And the first thing she'd run around with some of my old crowns, like when I was like a high schooler, and it was sweet. And she was like, "I think I want to do this," and I was like, "Say no more." I said, "Let's do it." I said, "That's what propelled mommy into my profession." It is such a great it's a great thing to do because you'll know after leaving one pageant what you want to do or what you need to improve on. And so I had no regrets ever doing any of mine. And we, she was nervous to do her first one. So I kind of got locked back into this when everything kind of opened, the ages lifted on some of the organizations. And so I went back just to show her, like, she's like, "I want you to do it. I want you to show me, I'm nervous to do it by myself. If you do it first, I'll feel more comfortable." So it was fun, and it was a great time, and a lot of teachable moments as a parent. So it was great.
For sure. And I love for people to get to know more about your story.
Absolutely.
You've made such a bold return after to the stage after 20 years since you first competed. So our daughter is the one who brought us back to clarify, or what has brought you back specifically, and how has this chapter really felt for you?
Yeah, it's been awesome. She had just spiking that interest, and I think we all struggle with self-esteem and self-doubt as humans in general, women, men, no exclusions. And I'm in the beauty industry, so every day I get to have that transformative and see that transformative power of, like, starting a before chemical, and after the results, and seeing women light up, whether that is on their big day, behind the chair, and seeing my daughter and honestly me struggle with self-doubt, self-esteem after being closed through COVID and going through hardships. It was fun to show her that, like, no, girl, you can absolutely do this, and I know you can do it. And so her entering her first pageant, she wanted me to do one first. So I was like, kind of, where do I start? And I felt it was a God thing because that following Monday was when it went kind of haywire, and like USA announced, like, we're lifting the age, like past competitors can come back, brand ambassadors. And that's when I was like, well, let me use this as a very teachable moment and to show the younger generation too that the crown doesn't define you. It is a great microphone, but like that's not your end all be all. And for me to not even be considered, it was a blessing because I felt like I was able to kind of minister and like help those younger ones that I competed with, like, love on them afterwards and be like, "You guys, you have the whole future ahead of you and you don't even know it." And that to me was a very monumental moment as a mom and as like the old lady coming back competing. And that was to me more rewarding than anything else. And never would I've ever imagined like going back, competing, and having a platform. And I was kind of struggling with that. I think a lot of new competitors do, and that's kind of something I'd like to touch on. If there's new people that don't know much about pageants, right? Aren't platforms intimidating? What does that entail? And I think that we need to kind of shift it to maybe like my passion is, versus platform, because that work can get kind of intimidating. And it was to my daughter as we went back in as a state pageant together, which was wonderful, probably the best experience we've ever had together. And showing her that like you're just going to live out what you're already doing. You're dancing, you're passionate about dancing. How can you give back to the community? How can you help your friends achieve their dreams as well along the way? So it was sweet, and that's how we got kind of back into the international system. One of my friends, Sandy Gallant, had introduced me, and we I immediately kind of went right back into competition mode, and I didn't really have any buffer time, which was probably the best thing for me because I think we can all agree when you compete in a pageant, it's best to kind of keep that momentum going if you want to compete. And so we were able to do that on a state level, and we both were able to win together. And there's nothing more significant and sweet to me than that moment. It was really sweet.
Now we see that why we shifted to the international pageant scene here. How has this experience really shifted your mindset when it comes to pageantry?
How was the what? I'm so sorry.
And how did this experience shift your or change your mindset when it comes to pageantry?
I think that it's made me honestly relive the sweetest time of my life. And as a teen competitor, I did really well. And seeing my daughter have like a glimpse of that, like doesn't matter win or lose, she is FaceTiming her friends, connecting with them outside of just the competition. Like, thank you. Can I get your number? Can I get your Facebook Messenger? Just sweet. There's so much more is what I'm trying to get across to the next generation of competitors. And there's it's such a great time to connect with people. Like my daughter has made plenty of friends through her dance community. They're all kind of involved in the Princess program as well. And she is also kept in touch with some of the girls from state from the international system. And that has been to me just sweet to go and like relive that moment with her and experience that and truly just honestly kind of set the bar of what's important. And no matter win or lose, of course, we all want to win. We're all giving it our best, but also just taking something from each experience.
Absolutely. And I've seen your page before. You have styled so many brides and clients. What makes your approach to beauty so personal and unique?
My I I always tell my girls this at the salon. I say before anything else, like, yes, our skill is very important, okay? Like, but it's mainly about making that connection with people. And I think that's the same thing with pageantry. And I think that there's some misconceptions like you have to
Mhm.
look this way, you have to spend this amount of money. And it's like, no, if you stand in your authentic self and you make that connection and you make that relationship, I think that's what sets the trailblazers from your competitors to the left or to the right. You kind of stand in your identity and being able to serve you kind of regionally now. We're not just in Georgia, we're in Tennessee, Florida, Alabama. We've got two coming up in North Carolina. Traveling with weddings and just seeing that transformative power. I think personal connection is the most important thing aside from your skill set, is just knowing who you are and helping them identify who they are. And that's a big part of my platform. So it's sweet.
And we see all the time that trends, they come and they go, but you've built a lasting reputation, to say the
Thank
least.
you.
How do you stay grounded and true to your style?
I've been, like my friends have always called me this since high school. They've called me everyday Lindsey Rae because I've been kind of the same person since I was a little girl, and that's why my Instagram handle is that. I am very vibrant. Like I'm sure you can get it. My whole house is like a fruit truck. Hit it.
I love it. I've seen the background and I'm in love.
And I think honestly, staying vibrant, and that sounds silly, but life is hard, right? We all have hardships, and learning to like navigate through them, having a support system, that is my utmost important advice I can give anyone, is just having a strong support system, whether that is church, that is through your community, that is with your staff, and a really big community aspect as well, as like when you have kids, you get to make these awesome connections with the other parents that are playing sports. So just staying connected in all your communities and leaning in on them, I think that's very important.
For sure. And you've mentioned that the biggest lesson you've learned is just how precious your time is. How do you communicate that to your clients to ensure that each appointment feels valuable and meaningful, not only to you, but to them as well?
Right. I think that honestly, I've learned with time it doesn't come overnight, right?
Mhm.
With owning a business, you learn to manage and budget your time, your money, everything a lot smarter. And I have now leaned on the help. I've got a beautiful, sweet assistant. Her name is Brooke Marshall. She's actually she's competing this week for Miss Georgia America, and having her helping hands and having a great staff behind me, and um, helping them know our policies that are in place is important. Truly, I'm like, hey guys. After 10 minutes, we've got to reschedule if you're late because it'll put the rest of my day behind. And as a mom, I've got to be on time to pick my daughter up from school or from dance. And so setting those professional boundaries has helped me immensely. And letting that line of communication, with my clients be very clear cut and direct has truly helped me be set apart in my community in the beauty industry.
For those of who may have missed it before, can you share a little bit about how you really entered your career path that you're in now?
Yeah. So when I competed as a teen, and it was so fun, I kind of walked in blindly my very first year, and I did Georgia Teen USA, I did NAM, and I think it's healthy. And we'll kind of touch on that later, but I think it's fun and healthy for people to kind of find their niche, find the purpose, the meaning behind each competition. And I think when I got kind of tossed in, it was a different time to compete. There were like 200 girls. It was fun. We were doing hair and makeup ourselves versus like having a huge glam team. And that really channeled my love for hair and makeup. I was like, wow, I'm helping my friends put on lashes backstage. I knew honestly by my third pageant that this is what God wanted me to do. And I, hit the trail running. I competed in my final pageant as a senior. I was second runner up out of, I think it was like 230 contestants as a teen. And I knew right then and there, I was like, thank you, pageantry. Like, I'm shutting this chapter because I now want to serve and help women see and feel their utmost beautiful, because I was able to make those connections as a teen, help my friends backstage, and truly it propelled me into like, wow, this is fun. It's an adrenaline rush, and I've been able to channel my energy to doing like what we talked about earlier, weddings, and most people would probably run from that. And I thrive on that. I feel like that the rush of the significance of the day, the energy, the sweetness. I think that there is no better feeling truly than helping others see themselves for who they are and who they're meant to be. There's no better feeling.
I don't doubt it. I'm just thinking about how you competed with over 200 women, young ladies in
Yes.
your division.
Yes. Back in,
Goodness.
you know how it was, okay, so like 20 years ago, like it was a lot different, man. I'm like, oh my gosh, like it was so fun. The level of competition was different, and that's not saying anything, derogatory now,
Mm,
but it was a different level. It was a different playing
absolutely.
field.
I imagine.
And I think that was more fun. We kind of got to lean into like not just the participation
Mhm.
side, but also like your poise, your and what is expected. And that to me was cool. It was more challenging, and it was different. I kind of want to a lot of me coming back. I want to bring that back. I feel like my dad's a huge baseball coach, and I'm very competitive, but I have a good spirit. I've got a great sportsmanlike conduct, and I want to see that for the next generation of competitors in any sport. Like you want to see that just I come alive like when I'm at bat or I hit the stage or whatever that sport you're playing is, because pageantry is a sport. And you leave feeling better. And I don't think anyone, if they have the right heart and intent, ever feels like truly empty, like your cup is empty, win or lose, like no matter leaving. That I think every pageant, if we have the right heart and mindset, we're going to come out ahead, truly.
For sure. And what we have to say for these new queens in this generation now that are juggling pageantry and
Yeah.
personal commitments, what's one piece of advice you would give them?
Honestly, to stay committed to what we've signed up to do. I've seen a lot, which has been so disheartening. There's been a lot of changes, as we've seen in the news, a lot of controversial things going on, like title holders stepping down left and
Mhm.
right. And I think we can say collectively that makes all of us tear up inside. Like, I love this community, and it is heartbreaking. And I think that
Mhm.
we need to fix it, whatever it is, whether it's the admin, the directorship, whatever it is. Like, let's all collectively come together and find a way to kind of stop this and promote helping title holders get the help they need during their reign, and just staying tunnel vision to your platform, your focus. Just not losing sight of that is my best advice, and I'm staying committed to the path that we've worked so hard to get to, and seeing a lot of it's we're in a society now where it's very easy to kind of want to throw the towel in. I mean, me included. Like there's things that can happen in life where you kind of initially want to be like, oh, I want to leave, or I get uncomfortable. And I'm hoping that we'll kind of see a shift in that, and then also help the queens get the help that they deserve and that they need during their reign.
I agree.
Yeah.
And you've spoken about using your platform to be a role model that you wish you had. What do you hope people remember most about your reign?
That it doesn't matter what you've gone through, right? We're going through things left and right. Life is short, but truly, like, standing in your purpose, loving who you are. And I think a also another misconception in pageantry is you have to be someone that you're not, right? And I just want to tell everyone, like, no, be true to who you are. Like, I've got friends that are big and they're into the modeling scene or agriculture. And I'm like, I love that for each of you. And I want to see more of the competitors stand in their story. That is like what I want to see. I want them to be confident and the way that they're built, the way that they look. I want them to be, most importantly, within yourself, but confident in your craft too, because I'm coming from that once little girl that was struggling and doubting herself, going into a non-traditional route to college. I was going to cosmetology school and caught a lot of wrath from that. And it was hard. It was hard seeing your friends go off and do other things and taking the non-traditional route. But I'm here to truly be an advocate for the beauty industry, being both profitable, emotional, and financial. And I just want anyone around me to hopefully feel better when they leave my presence, and feel confident in who they are, and maybe help bring out something that they didn't know that they had, or make them feel better about like something that they struggled with before. That is what I want to truly leave as like a lasting title holder.
For sure. And I love how you said that you want to be an advocate for the beauty industry because, like you
Yeah,
mentioned before, there's been so many changes happening in these past
absolutely.
couple years alone where I believe that we have people advocating for really what should be the, the standards when it comes to treating each other, when it comes to approaching beauty as a whole, that it would make it a lot more of a welcoming environment that would get people want to continue celebrating together.
No, for sure. And what's really cool was the nonprofit I've worked with, and for some time now, they are aspire like we help to aid financial any kind of scholarships for aspiring cosmetologists. So it's been super rewarding to see like nail technicians, barbers, you know, balayage artists, makeup artists, you name it, like be able to have the funding that they deserve, have the advocacy that they deserve, and whether it is help assisting scholarships or providing that continuing education. I think that that's so important. But also I want to touch on something that is truly, like we talked about, my friend Elizabeth Faye, she started a continuing education in cosmetology schools, which is so cool for mental health. And if we could kind of tap into something like that in the pageant community, that would be awesome. Some sort of like, let's take away some of these prize packages because we have a year ahead of us that's about to rock our world, right? And focus on how we can stay grounded and focused, and really just taking good care of ourselves mentally, because we will wear ourselves down getting ready from head to toe, but forget to take care of our mental health, and that's so important. And so, aside from aiding the cosmetologist, I'm absolutely wanting to help find that help for the pageant community and title holders as well.
For those for those who are watching who doubt that they are good enough to chase their dreams, what's your message for them?
Oh my goodness, you are. And I think the one thing that I've learned, like, I'm 38 years old now. I think the one thing that stops us more than anyone, there will be the mean girl energy, there will be all of the things. But I think more than anything is standing in your own way. So we could drown in self doubt and we could sit there and we can soak in it, or we can put that behind us and, and just channel our gifts that we have inside and love ourselves for who we are and the gifts we have and the beauty that we have. Because I feel like if we don't use it, our neighbor will. And so I want to truly help women love who they are, that, leave a lasting impression that goes like truly far beyond a mirror.
Now, can I ask, do we know what's next for you quite yet?
Not yet. I'm kind of just taking it one day at a time. I've got nationals in July. My daughter's in the program for the Miss America Princess program next week. And to be honest, the one thing I've learned is don't put all my eggs in one basket with age. Like I would commit and overcommit to so many things, like way far ahead in advance. And so I try to just sit in each situation, enjoy the ride, and enjoy the season that you're in. Because I feel like we're all at a very fast-paced life, right? Like we're always trying to put ourselves back. And that's been a toxic trait of mine in the past. Like I'm already like wanting to do the next thing before I finish what I've been training for. So right now I'm just focused on training for Mrs. International. That's my main focus. And I'm getting my daughter from A to B next week and, just enjoying the summer.
For sure. And something we love to ask all of our
Yeah.
guests that join us across this platform is, us being a pageant resource, what's something that you as a title holder would appreciate seeing more from our platform?
I think you guys do an excellent job because there's no negativity. It's truly just a positive page. And I think you guys are doing an excellent job of staying connected to title holders from different organizations. That made me happy. There's a lot that, with the stronger platforms of, pageantry, you see a lot of those pages. There's pages specifically for that. And I think that you guys are doing great by trying to connect with different individuals that are in different systems. And your feed is beautiful and it's positive, and that is truly what I think attracts most viewers, is being authentic to your page. And y'all are doing a great job. I wouldn't honestly change anything. I think it's wonderful, and I'm honestly just blessed to be a part of this.
Well, we got to thank Kennedy for that
Yeah.
for sure. She's the mastermind behind everything, and I just love how anything that comes to her mind, she definitely gets done and achieved for this group. And it's definitely a resource that I wish I could lean into when I very first started in pageantry myself, because there's just so much to
Yeah.
gain from it.
Oh no, for sure. Like I love all the tips. I love the news updates. There's it's just great. It's all around. It's my favorite page I've been following, and so I was very honored to be a part of this. So thank you so much for just including me in on this. And I ask all my sister queens and everyone out there that's a part of this community be praying for all the contestants as we go, and most importantly, just making that significant impact on the next generation and any viewers watching, more than the crown. And I think people, they lose sight of that. Like yeah, a crown is beautiful, but we're not taking anything with us when we go. And I think if we flip our narrative and flip our mindset to what kind of legacy we're going to leave behind, that's when, things start to shift and click. And I kind of honestly, I think I'd be inhumane if I didn't say this, but like when I went back, 20 years later, I was kind of playing the game comparison, right? Because I'm like, these girls are seasoned. And I haven't, done, a T pose and half turns, and I can't tell you how long. So it was real humbling. But as long as we're staying, cheering each other on through the different organizations, I think it's kind of, and I think we can agree on this. There's been a lot of, just he say, she say, don't do this, don't do the system, do the system. And it's like, you guys, at the end of it, there's one winner from each system. And if we collectively come together as a community, and that will this is my business mindset, will create that like longevity and that lasting retention by keeping all the systems afloat and keeping them positive and keeping that level of competitiveness on the up and up, and keeping that regeneration just going, because I've seen, as we can agree, it's just kind of sad the numbers have been lower. And I'm excited to be coming back to a very exciting system that's very family oriented. I feel like this will be right in my wheelhouse, to be honest. And so I'm excited about it. And there's a system for everyone, but I do encourage, truly, as a mom, like I think there's a fit for everyone. And I think it's healthy to compete and try different systems so you can know. And I don't think one way or another you're going to regret doing it. I've made lasting friends through USA, through NAM, and I have such a great rapport with everyone that I've worked with through international. So I'm excited to go and compete in July and truly just experience it, because this will be my first time doing it.
I cannot wait to see where you go whenever we start
Thank you.
competing here in July. Of course, we're going to talk a little bit more about that here in a second. But
Yeah,
something I always love about every queen that I have the honor to speak with here is that everyone is so unique. They have such a story that's special to them that connects to a different audience every time. But I
that's
always
right.
love to take a moment of self-reflection and have y'all answer this one question, or maybe really to
Yeah.
finish this sentence for me. I want to be remembered for.
Good energy. Truly
Yeah,
just having a positive, energetic spirit. Because a lot of the times we get so hyper focused, on just competing, not enjoying the ride as well. And also not cheering her, but I want people to be like, wow, I did not expect her to be, that energetic. And people will say, oh, you have the energy of a cocker spaniel. And I do, but I want to channel that. And that was a weakness of mine and a struggle when I was growing up. I was diagnosed with ADHD at a very young age. And that's no shocker to anyone that knows me. And I think that when you learn to use that as your like an asset, whether that is personally, professionally, that then becomes a strength in a sense. And so I think just people to be remembered as well. She's hardworking and she smiles through even heartache and hardships. That she's just got a very positive outlook on life and good energy.
there's no doubt in my mind that you're going to be able to transmit this message throughout whatever your pageant journey takes you, or even, of course, in your professional journey as
Thank
well. I definitely feel just
you.
your high positive energy, and I'm so
Thank
glad that we were able to highlight
you.
that for today. Before we start wrapping up, we always love playing a little game of this or that. Are you
Ooh, I
familiar with
love
it?
it. Yeah,
Okay,
let's go.
fabulous. All right, let's get started then. This or that, updo or curls?
Updo.
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 Salon day or spa day?
Salon day. I love a good blowout.
I do not blame you. Early mornings or late nights?
Late nights, all day, girl.
I love my fellow night owl here.
Yes.
Bold lip or neutral glam?
What was the first one? I'm sorry.
Bold lip or neutral glam?
I'm a neutral lip color girl. I used to be a heavy red lip girl in the early to mid 2000s, but I'm definitely a neutral girl now.
Same here. I tried a bold lip before, and then one day someone kindly told me I
I
need to
know.
switch it up.
I just, yeah, it's a little harsh now.
It's a little harsh. Classic styles or trend setting?
Trend setting.
Coffee or tea to start the day?
Coffee for
Coffee.
sure.
Instagram post or story?
Instagram post.
Big city or small town charm?
Small town charm.
Absolutely. Crowd moment or mic drop moment?
Oh, I'd say mic drop moment.
And finally, stage or behind the scenes?
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
I
I love
think,
the
yeah,
behind the scenes.
that's right.
There's
It's
so
so
much that
fun. It's
happens.
fun. And that's what, propelled me into this. Like I remember like, oh yeah, I'll throw your lashes on. I'll put some hot rollers in your hair. I had so much fun doing that. And there's a lot that goes into it. And I've only briefly gotten to speak with Mary and she's our national director. She's so, so sweet. And my heart goes out to playing a national pageant. Like I can't imagine. Someone was like, girl, praying for you. It's a lot that goes into it. I love like looking at the balloon arches. I'm here for the training, getting to give back in the community. Like we're going to be doing like a trip to Girls Inc. and just the behind the scenes and the experience. I love being on stage, but I think, and two, I'm going to tell the audience a really great thing that a family member told me is when you're doing something big like this is take mental pictures. Like we may not have a lot of these, competitions, we're not allowed our devices, whether
Yeah.
that's like through rehearsals,
Mhm.
or during obviously interview and those big parts of the competition, but learning to just take those mental pictures because that's all we have and sit in on the moment. And as social media savvy as like people say I am very much a disconnect person as well. Like I'm very wanting to sit in on the moment, but I'm also wanting to be like, wait, let me record this, but I'm turning my phone on silent. I think that there's a big disconnect too with the younger generation. Like they're very glued to their devices. And I think that there's a good way to kind of sandwich those both together where you're connected and kind of trending with, and staying on the path, but also, learning to disconnect at a very sweet time so you can really like savor those moments.
For sure. And before we do
Yeah.
disconnect today, because I know we have a busy day
Yeah.
ahead for ourselves, can you please let us all know what is the best way to stay connected to you, your pageant journey,
Yeah.
your work as a stylist, everything and anything under the sun you can think of so we can celebrate
You're so
you?
sweet. So I'm truly just honestly following Beauty Changes Lives. They do so much for licensed cosmetologists. I'm their biggest supporters and fans. They kind of help pave the way for, self-doubt barriers, financial barriers. And I think, saying follow them, that's awesome. And then following my salon, it's Brushed by Lindsey Salon. And then my personal page is Everyday Lindsey Rae. And I'll be posting pretty consistently my pageant journey, and kind of the whole process leading up to it and after, and you'll see probably a ton of hair photos, my daughter, and animal photos, family pictures of my husband, and that's about all it'll be, but it's still fun.
Well, we want to thank you just so much for joining us here for today. Of course, everyone else who joined us live and who will be seeing this video a little bit later once we get that posted up. Thank you once again. I
Yes,
hope
thank
that
you.
everyone here has a fantastic
Oh,
weekend. Until next
awesome.
time, I'm Elizabeth with Beauty Queens Galore, the pageant resource. Bye.
Bye.